Roll the shoulders back, lengthen up through the spine. We're going to open with breath of fire. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Alexa. This is the Yoga Body Flow we'll be doing tonight. It originates where I was first ever trained, and it's much faster paced. We're really going to get into the breath and really into that body. And so starting off, we're opening with that breath of fire. It will be short, sharp exhalations through the nose, and it will sound something like sneezing. We'll focus on the exhale and let the inhale come naturally. You might want to bring your hands to your stomach. You can feel it. We're going to draw the stomach back in with every exhale. We'll do approximately 3 rounds of 20, and it will sound and look something like this. All right, so sit up nice and tall, relax. To prepare, exhale it out. Inhale halfway. Exhale, 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 exhale. Short, sharp exhalations through the nose. Draw the stomach to the spine. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let it go. Inhale fully. Exhale fully. Inhale halfway. Exhale, 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 exhale. Short, sharp through the nose. Draw the stomach to the spine. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let that go. Inhale fully. Exhale, relax those shoulders. Inhale halfway. Exhale, 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 exhale. Short and sharp through the nose. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let it go. Turn to face the front of your mat and come into a downward facing dog. Hands about shoulder width apart, feet about hip distance apart, so 2 fists distance apart. And send the chest back towards the shins or thighs. Bend the knees as you need here. Spread the fingers wide. We're going to set up now our ocean breath. So we use that breath of fire to tap into our sympathetic nervous system, get awake and fired up for this short practice. And now let's tap into that ocean breath, that even 4-count breath. So breathe in through the nose. And as you exhale, open the mouth and sigh it out. Again, in through the nose, exhale, sigh it out through the mouth, as if fogging a little mirror right in front of your face. And do that one more time, in through the nose, out through the mouth with control. Make a ha-like sound. After those 3 exhales through the mouth, close the mouth, but maintain that same ha-like sound now in and out through the nose, our ocean breath, or Ujjayi breath. Want to maintain this throughout the rest of class. Use it to bring your focus back. On your next exhale, bend the knees deeply, look forward, step or hop to the front of the mat. Inhale, find a flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift, reach all the way up, look up, and exhale your hands to your sides. Moving through sun salute A. Inhale, reach the arms up high. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, flat back. On the exhale, plant the hands, step back to plank, lower halfway, elbows in. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale back, downward facing dog. 5 breaths here. Spread those fingers wide. Come back to that ocean breath, in and out through the nose. One more breath here. On your next exhale, bend the knees deeply, look forward, step or hop to the front of the mat. Inhale, find a flat back, and exhale, fold over the legs. Inhale, lift, reach up, look up, palms together. Exhale, hands to your sides. Again, inhale, reach up, look up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, flat back. As you exhale, plant the hands, step or hop back to plank, lower halfway. Inhale, lift to upward facing dog, shoulders back, and exhale back, downward facing dog. Come back to your ocean breath, waking the body up. Lift the hips. Every inhale, think about length, and every exhale, send the chest a little closer to the ankles or shins. Last breath here. And on your next exhale, bend the knees deeply, look forward, step or hop to the front of the mat. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift, come all the way up, reach up, look up, palms together. Exhale, your hands to your sides. Last one, inhale, reach up, look up. Exhale, fold over the legs. Inhale, find your flat back. As you exhale, plant the hands, step back to plank, lower halfway. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale yourself back to downward facing dog. Why do we breathe this way? Inhaling, finding some back bends, exhaling through our movements. We try to match them with the diaphragmatic movement of the rib cage, of the diaphragm. We try to optimize the breath with the movement. One more breath here. On your next exhale, bend the knees deeply, look forward, step or hop to the front of the mat. Inhale, find a flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift, reach up, look up. Exhale your hands to your sides. Sit your hips back and down, fingertips to the ground. Reach forward and up, chair pose. On your next exhale, fold forward over the legs. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, plant the hands, step back to plank, lower halfway. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, back. Downward facing dog. Bring your right foot forward between your hand. Back heel comes to the ground. Face forward, lift up, palms together, warrior one. Exhale right away, hands down, frame the front foot, step back to plank, lower halfway. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, back, downward facing dog. On your next inhale, bring the left knee forward between the hands, bring the right foot to the ground. Scissor the hips, look forward, warrior one. Exhale, hands frame the front foot, step back to plank, lower halfway. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale back, downward facing dog. Find 5 breaths here. In and out through the nose, using that ocean breath. Lift the sit bones. Think about separating them. Last breath. And on your next exhale, bend the knees deeply, look forward, step or hop to the front of the mat. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, sink those hips down and back, reach forward and up with the arms, chair pose. Next exhale, come to standing. Again, sit those hips back and down, fingertips to the ground. Inhale, lift the arms. Exhale, fold over the legs. Inhale, flat back. On the exhale, step back to plank, lower halfway. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, back, downward facing dog. Right foot forward, right away. Bring the back heel to the ground. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, frame the front foot, step back to plank, lower. Lift to upward facing dog. Exhale, back, downward facing dog. Left foot forward this time. Inhale, reach the arms up, warrior one. Exhale, palms down. Step back, lower through. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. 5 breaths here, catching up, taking this time to reset. Finishing your vinyasa. Regrouping. Lift those sit bones up. Lengthen through the spine. And then start to lower the heels to the mat. The optimal goal here is a long spine. One more breath. On your next exhale, bend the knees deeply, look forward, step or hop to the front of the exhale, sink those hips down. Inhale the arms to reach up, chair pose, and exhale yourself to standing. Last one, sun salute B, sink those hips back and down. Inhale, lift the chest, chair. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, flat back. As the exhale comes, plant the hands, step or hop back. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale back, downward facing dog, right foot forward, back heel to the ground, lift, warrior one, face forward. Exhale, the palms, frame the front foot, step back, lower halfway. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale back, downward facing dog, left foot forward, right heel to the ground, reach up. Exhale, frame that front foot, last chaturanga, lowering down. Inhaling, lifting the shoulders back, and exhaling back to downward facing dog. Again, regrouping here for an approximate 5 breaths. Spread the fingers wide. Inhale, lengthen that spine. Exhale, send your chest a little closer to your shins or thighs. Sits bones reach for the ceiling, and heels drop down to the mat. Last breath here. On your next exhale, bend the knees, look forward, step or hop to the front of the mat. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, sink those hips back and down. Inhale, the chest lifts, chair pose, and exhale, stand up all the way. Separate your feet about hip distance apart, so 2 fists width. Hands to your hips, roll those shoulders back, lift up nice and tall. As you exhale, hinge at the hips. Now bend the knees, so much so you're sitting in a chair. Release the arms down. Take the 2 peace fingers, pointer in middle, around the inside edge of your big toe. Lengthen through the spine, and as you exhale, start to lift the hips. Try to keep that stomach on the thighs. Inhaling, lengthening the spine. Exhaling, lifting the hips. Inhale for length. Exhale, lift the hips. Draw the shoulders away from your ears. And come back to that ocean breath. Last breath here. Inhale, lengthen the spine. This time as you exhale, put the whole hand underneath your foot. So toes are coming right into the wrists. Fingertips are going all the way down to the heel. Like really step on your foot, on your hand, sorry. Lengthen your spine. Again, as you exhale, flare the elbows out to the side. Lift the hips. Draw the chest down, not your head, your chest down towards your toes. And breathe. Every inhale, think about that length in the back of the legs and the spine. Every exhale, lift your sits bones a little higher, really getting into the backside of the legs. Last breath here. On your next inhale, release the hands. Exhale your hands to your hips and lift all the way up nice and tall. Take a big step back with the right leg. We'll pivot the toes around to face the back of the mat. Right foot faces forward. And back left foot's going to come in at about a 45-degree angle. Open the shoulders out to the long edge of the mat and extend the arms. Take your gaze forward over the front hand and then reach for the back of the mat. Send your hips back in space. Talk that front hand down to the inside edge of the big toe, to the ankle, maybe to the floor or the calf. Find your triangle pose. So left arm will lift, reaching up. Every inhale, think about a long, straight spine all the way out through the crown of the head. And every exhale, twist a little deeper from the waist. If your neck allows, take your gaze up to the ceiling or your top hand. Breathe here. Triangle pose. Last breath. And on your next exhale, look down to your big toe, bend slightly into that front knee, lift all the way up. We'll pivot the feet and take this to the other side. Left foot faces the front of the mat. Back right foot comes in at about a 45-degree angle. Open the arms. The shoulders and arms are parallel to the long edge of the mat. Now reach forward. Send your hips back in space. And then tick-tock that hand down to the big toe, to the ground, to the calf or ankle. Right arm lifts nice and high. Draw the shoulders away from the ears. So if they're hiked up, draw them back and away. Want to get this whole frontal side of our body turning sideways if possible. So twist from the waist. Draw that belly button in, engage through the core. Grip the mat with your feet. And maybe take your gaze up to your top hand. Last breath here in triangle. And on your next exhale, look down to your big toe, bend that front knee slightly. Inhale, lift all the way up, step to the front of the mat. You may need a block for this one. Take your block. Take a big step back with the right leg, about halfway down the mat this time. Pivot the toes around. Right toe is going to face towards the back, left foot in at a 45-degree angle. Block goes in the left hand if you are using one. Turn your hips so that they are even and parallel to the back two corners of the mat or to the short end of the mat. Extend the left arm out with the block, right arm to your hip. Hinge at the hips as if folding forward, like a door hinge. Extend that arm out. And on your next exhale, bring the arm with the block or just the arm to the outside edge of that right foot. Lengthen through the spine here as you inhale. And exhale, twist open to the right. Lift that right arm up, finding a twisted triangle. If you don't have a block, that is perfectly fine. Or if you feel like you have more room, you can always take your hand to the outside edge of the calf, to the floor. If you are working with a block, maybe lowering it to a lower level. Every inhale, find length through the spine again. Every exhale, twist a little deeper from the waist. Keep that right hip hugging back in its socket. Last breath here. And on your next exhale, take a look down to your big toe. Inhale, come all the way up to standing. Let's pivot the feet and take that to the other side. Left foot faces forward, back right foot comes in at a 45-degree angle. Turn the hips, make those hip bones parallel to the short end of your mat. Block comes in the right hand this time if you're working with one. Lengthen up through the spine. Hinge at the hips, reach forward, and then tick-tock that blocker hand to the outside edge of that bottom left front foot. Inhale, find length through the spine, and as you exhale, twist from the waist, draw that belly button in, engage through your center. And again, play around here with your height. Maybe you lower the block, maybe you remove the block altogether and operate on the floor. Try to keep those legs straight. And try to keep the blade of that back right foot down to the mat. And notice if you stop breathing. Can you bring that back? Last breath. On your next exhale, look down to your big toe, bring your hands to your hips or lift up all the way with the block, step to the front of the mat. Take a bigger step back this time with the right foot. We'll pivot the toes all the way around. Right foot faces forward towards the back, left foot at a 45-degree angle. Bend your front knee. You might want to walk your toe forward. We're looking for a big wide stance here. Bending nicely into that front knee, maybe getting our hamstrings parallel to the ground. Open the arms out nice and wide. Reach forward as you exhale, tick-tock that right hand down to your thigh. So press that thigh away, create some space to the shoulder. Back left arm, top arm is going to swing forward. So we're looking for an extended side angle. If you feel like, this is too much space, I want to go a little bit deeper, take that bottom hand and you can bring it to the outside of that front bent knee. You can press that knee open into the elbow, a little bit more sensation and torque there in your thigh. If you're looking for more space, want to feel more open, grow, Bring that elbow up onto the thigh, draw the shoulder away from the ear. So make that really noticeable. And extend, feel a long line coming from the front top arm all the way down to the blade of that back left foot. Feels great. Every inhale, find length through the spine, and every exhale, twist open a little more towards your ceiling from the waist. Last breath here. And when your next exhale comes, look down to your big toe. Inhale, come all the way up. Lift, and let's pivot those feet around. Left foot's going to face forward to the front of the mat, right foot in at a 45-degree angle. Bend your front knee. Again, you might need to take a wider stance here. Looking almost for those hamstrings to be parallel to the ground. Open your arms out nice and wide. Shoulders are parallel to the long edge of the mat. Reach forward, tick-tock that hand down to the outside edge of the foot, lining up the arm with the leg, or maybe you bring it for more space on the side body on top of the thigh. Right arm's gonna reach up and over. Take your gaze up to that top front hand. Breathe here in your extended side angle, whichever variation you are taking. And find what feels good for your body. Make one long line on the outside top right side of your body. Inhale for length and exhale. Twist open towards the ceiling. Open that frontal plane a little more. Last breath here. On your next exhale, look down to your big toe. Inhale, come all the way up, and we'll step to the front of the mat. Take a big step back again with your right foot, not quite as large as you just did. And we'll bend into that front knee. We're going to turn the hips this time, like we did in our twisted triangle. So hips are turned towards the back of the mat. Right arm or left arm lifts up nice and high, opposite arm to bent knee. And as you exhale, hinge forward from the hips. Bend the elbow, bring it to the outside edge of that right knee. Bring the palms together, lengthen the spine on the inhale. As you exhale, twist towards the right hand side. So finding a twisted lunge here. Try to keep those hips nice and even with the short end of the mat, so making a little square between your hip bones and those corners. And come back to your ocean breath. In and out through the nose. Inhaling for length, exhaling to twist a little deeper from the waist, scissoring your hips together nice and strong. Press into the blade of that back foot. One more breath here. And when your next exhale comes, look down to your big toe, bring your hands to center, lift all the way up. We'll pivot our feet around. Left foot faces forward, right foot at a 45-degree angle. Bend your front knee, line it up right above the ankle. Turn those hips. Right arm lifts up nice and high. Exhale to hinge and bend the elbow to the outside of that right knee. Place the palms together, making prayer hands. Lengthen the spine, and as you exhale, twist from the waist. So I'll just turn here and show you from a slightly different angle. So my left foot is forward, right arm lifts up. We're going to find those prayer hands twisting to the outside edge of that knee. And again, just one more time from the other side for a visual. Stay right where you are. And we'll twist. So we're twisting our lunge. Inhaling through your nose and exhaling through your nose, trying to keep that ocean breath alive and active. Last breath here. And on your next exhale, look down to your big toe, bring your hands back to center, lift all the way up, and we'll step to the front of the mat. Bring your feet about hip distance apart, lengthen up nice and tall. Shift the weight to your left foot and bring the knee, your right knee, into your right hand. Left hand comes to your hip. Now feel free to stay here in step one or step two. Two peace fingers come to the inside edge of your big toe, a hold we did before in a forward fold, and then extend your leg out in front of you. So step one, holding the knee. Step two, holding the leg. Hold for 3, 2, 1. Now open the leg out to the side or the knee. So wherever you're at, step one or step two, open out to the side, expanding, drawing our hips open. And maybe challenge your balance and take your gaze in the opposite direction. 2 more breaths here. In and out through the nose. Find your balance, shoulders back. Press strongly into your standing leg. Kick out through your heel if your leg is extended. Nice. Now bring everything back to center. Keep the leg extended. If you're holding the knee, extend the leg. We'll release the foot. Point your toes, both hands to your hips all together. Keep that leg lifted for 5, 4, a little higher. 3, 2, 1. Let it go. Very nice. Shake that out. Take this over to the other side. Plant into the right foot. Lift the left knee up into your hand. So step one, option to stay here. Hold the knee through the pose, or take your 2 peace fingers, reach inside for the inside edge of your big toe. Extend the foot. Leg extended or holding the knee, either is fine. Listen to your body where you're at today. Find your drishti, a point of focus in front of you, something that's not moving. Let your attention stay there. And on your next inhale, open the leg or knee out to the side. You may find one side is easier than the other. This side is definitely harder for me. And maybe you stay focused here, or you challenge your balance and take your gaze in the opposite direction. Keep breathing. Last breath here. And then bring your foot or knee back to center. If you're holding the knee, extend the leg. If you're holding the foot, release the foot. Point the toes. Hold for 5, 4, a little higher. 3, you got this. 2, 1, let it go. Whew, shake that out. Plant into the left foot, bend that right knee. Bring the foot up to the inside edge of the calf or maybe the thigh. You might want to help your foot along. And we'll bring our palms together at chest center. Lengthen up through the spine. Press firmly down through that standing leg. Open the right knee. Breathe here. Last breath. And on your next exhale, bring that right knee in with control. Lower. And we'll take it to the other side. Right foot is going to plant firmly into the mat. Lift the left leg up and try to see if you can get the foot to the same height as you had on the first side. Lift and lengthen through the spine, lifting the chest. Draw open that left knee. Pull it back behind you and bring the palms together at chest center. Find your focus, that drishti again. Find your breath. Make sure your hips are not sticking out way behind you. Instead, draw them forward. Draw the whole pelvis forward for that matter. And draw your belly button in. So zip up really high-waisted zippers or zippered pants. Sometimes find that that's a nice analogy to think of. If you want to challenge your balance, maybe close your eyes. And notice what your foot does. It certainly comes alive, all the wiggles, wobbles, and balancing. We'll take our last breath here in tree pose. All right, return that foot slowly and with control down to the ground. Shake out your ankles. We'll wash it out with a vinyasa. Inhale, lift the arms, reach up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, find a flat back. As you exhale, plant the hands, step back to plank, lower halfway. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, back, downward facing dog. On your next exhale, bend your knees deeply, look forward, step or hop to the front of the mat. Bring the big toes to touch, heels slightly apart. Reach the arms forward, bend the knees, sink, all the way to your sits bones touch the ground. Lift the legs, find your boat pose, draw those shoulders back, chest lifts forward. Imagine a string drawing your sternum forward. We're gonna open and close our boat 3 times. So on your next exhale, open the boat. Inhale, lift back up. Exhale, open. Inhale, lift. Every time you open, we're hovering. Exhale, open. Inhale, lift back up. Draw that chest forward. Exhale, open the boat, lower the shoulders to the ground, and the feet can come down under the knees. Reach down, feel for your heels. Just give them a little brush. That's going to be our distance marker. Roll the shoulder blades under. When your next inhale comes, lift your hips nice and high, finding a bridge pose. Interlace the hands below. Press the arms and shoulders and hands into the mat and lift through the glutes. So it feels as if the heels are drawing toward your shoulders. Couple breaths here. And on your next exhale, release the hands, lower the spine. Inhale, lift the hips, come right back to that bridge. Option 2, stay in step 1, interlace the hands below your lower back. Or step 2, bring your hands beside your ears, fingertips face down towards your shoulders. Inhale, lift to the top of the head, and then extend all the way up in wheel pose. Really trying to extend the arms, open the shoulders, draw the chest forward. Last breath. And then tuck the chin, lower slowly and gently down. If your hands are clasped, release them, and all together lower the spine. It's going to take one bridge there. We'll windshield wash to the knees, side to side, letting that go in the lower back. Take hold of the back of the thighs, and we'll give ourselves a little bit of spinal rocking to now rock that out. Have a little fun with this. See if you can do a controlled stop at the top and a controlled stop at the bottom. And then wiggle wobble all the way through, rolling on your back. Last couple rolls here. Nice. And then we'll roll back down. Come onto your back, tuck those shoulder blades under, draw those elbows in as close as you can, as if you're trying to get them underneath your lower back. Lift the legs, then we'll lift the hips. Bring your hands to your lower back, give yourself a little bit of support. Come onto your shoulders here. Draw the belly in, draw the hips forward, point the toes up, finding a shoulder stand. Wonderful inversion. Do not turn your head. Look up to your toes. Breathe here. One more breath. And on your next exhale, with control, lower your legs over your head. If your feet do not touch the floor, please keep your hands on your lower back. Do not turn your head in this position. Rather, look towards your thighs and follow my verbal instructions. Keep supporting your lower back. If your toes touch the mat, release your hands and interlace the fingers. Draw the hands down to the mat. And if your toes are touching the mat, also point them so the nails are touching the ground or the mat. The bottoms of the feet completely face the ceiling. Lift the hips. Keep squeezing the shoulder blades together. Relax the neck. Relax the jaw. Breathe. Plow pose. Lift the backs of the legs towards the ceiling. 2 more breaths. And then slowly with control, bring your hands to your back. Start to lift the legs. Once your hips are farther back, you can release your hands like brake pads to the ground and slowly lower your spine all the way down, extending the legs out. Wiggle wobble to one side or the other and bring your palms to face down underneath your hips. Draw the elbows together in towards each other, toes touch, point the toes, and then lift, press into the elbows, arch the upper thoracic spine. Top of the head may come to the mat, but don't put your weight on it. Find a fish pose. Doing a little counteraction to our forward folding or upside downing or plow pose. Getting a little bit of a spinal flexion here, or extension here, sorry. Last breath here. And then slowly lengthen, release down, bend at the knees, draw your feet in, and we'll find a little rock and roll again on the spine. And eventually rock and roll yourself all the way over and shoot yourself back to a downward facing dog. I moved my whole carpet, that's fun. Spread the fingers wide, lift the hips. On your next exhale, bring the knees down to the mat. Keep the toes tucked under, reach the arms up. Exhale, bring the palms through center. Inhale, lift up again, reaching up. Exhale, bring the palms through center. Last one, inhale, reach up. This time grab for opposite elbows. Lengthen up through the spine. And as you exhale, bring the palms or the arms down so they touch your knees. Our hands are still holding the outside of our elbows, giving us a measuring point. Release the hands, interlace them in front of you. Untuck the bottom pinky. Lengthen the spine, bring the forehead to the ground. The hairline just in the hands, just towards that soft spot behind that hairline there. Then extend the legs, lifting the hips right above your head. Step 1, maybe you stay here. Step 2, draw one knee into the chest. And step 3, the second knee. Maybe you lift all the way up. Lift with the toes, draw the belly button in. And then whenever you're ready, bring yourself down. So finding your step, going to whichever level you are comfortable at. We'll do that one more time. I'll show that one more time. If you are in handstand, you will stay there. Keeping those toes tucked under, the elbows are up. So again, just going through the steps here for those who want a second demonstration. Bringing the arms down in front of the knees. Opening out, don't move your elbows. Just open the hands, untuck the pinky. Bring the forehead, or sorry, the hairline and just above it, that's kind of soft spot above the hairline, to the mat. Strengthen up those shoulders, lift the hips. You might stay here, just practice getting comfortable with this here. Or bring one knee into the chest. Maybe you bring the second knee into the chest, finding the hips right above your shoulders. And then extend the legs. So we're stacking our body upside down on top of itself. If you are all the way up, you can come back down to the mat. Bring the big toes to touch, heels pretty wide apart. And all together, extend your arms, roll the forehead on the ground, find a child's pose, let that go. Plant the hands into the mat, lift the chest slightly. Bring the left foot to the outside of the right hand, the right foot to the outside of the right hand. And feet can be out of a 45-degree angle. Find a little squat. Bring your palms together in the center. Open the knees, lengthen up through the spine. Feel free to stay here, nice and tall. I feel like a little bit of a neck stretch. We're not going to pull, but rather interlace your hands behind your head. Draw the elbows out and let gravity kind of sink your head down, gently easing a little stretch into the neck. Last breath here. Then release your hands, extend them in front of you. Bring your legs to be long on the mat. Let the heels go out to the corners. Tuck the shoulder blades under, tuck the chin, let the palms face up at your sides, and let your feet flop out for Shavasana, our final resting pose. Let your breath go here and find utter relaxation. Let gravity draw you down, sink into your mat. Relax the toes, relax the calves and the knees. Relax your thighs. Let your hips be heavy and weighted. Relax through the abdomen. Relax your shoulders, wrists, and hands. Let your lips part and your tongue fall away from the roof of your mouth, relaxing your jaw. Relax your cheeks. Soften your eyes. Release your forehead. And just be. Slowly start to deepen your breath, taking big belly breaths. And find a little movement through the fingertips, through the fingers, maybe into the wrists. And wiggle the toes, maybe the ankles, waking up the feet. Maybe you turn your head from side to side. And in time, come to roll over on one side of the body or the other. Pause for a breath there. And then use your hands to help lift you up to any tall, comfortable seated position of your choosing. Palms can come to your knees. And I invite you to soften or close the eyes. We will close with balanced breathing. Exhale to prepare. Inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale for 4. Exhale for 4. Bring your palms together at chest center. May our thoughts, words, and actions be filled with presence, peace, and patience. Slowly bow your head towards your hands and take a moment to thank yourself for practicing, for breathing, taking this time to be in your body and this time for yourself. And gently flutter open your eyes. And I thank you so very, very much for joining me.